Have you been feeling a little lost in your life recently? Or maybe that's been for a really long time, that you haven't found your place. You haven't found that career that you wanted to have, or you're just not really satisfied with your life experience and you're trying to figure out how could you get to that better place? How could you achieve more? And I have the answer for you because it is within you, but you just haven't known how to get there. Now, what I'm saying is that what I've created is a complete guide to personal and professional growth. Because see, those come together. You achieve both of them when you take this other step, and that is becoming your authentic self. And if you don't know me, my name is Roger Burnley. I am an intuitive empowerment life purpose coach. I'm a mystic, a sage, and a prophet. And for the last 35 years, I've been developing work that can give you everything that you want, that can take you to that life that you've always dreamt of, because it's within you, it's within all of us. But we have to figure that out when we come into the world. And sometimes that can be really difficult, as it was for me. I've done a few presentations recently, and I'll leave links in this video because I'd love for you to see them, because I wanted to explain what was happening in our world, because many people have seen things changing and wondering what was happening. And I'm saying it's changing for you. It's changing for you to become more, to evolve. As a mystic, I know that we are all connected to something greater than what we know, something beyond. We come into the world and we live these lives for a while, and then we want to know that we've made a difference, that we've left something to the world, or we want to know that we can live this life now and have joy and have abundance and have all the right things. And you can. And I know that you can because I've created this plan for you. And I will tell you, it's been a long time though, because it's been 35 years that I've been working on it. And the reason I'm doing this today is that I'm taking the next step, which is putting more in, because I haven't, it's not all in there. And that's why I wanted you to see it now, because this is a special opportunity for you. For those people who do decide to join, before all the other things are in, you'll see those changes soon. But you will have a special benefit, because then I will meet with you. And that's going to be, as you join, I will meet with you and have a meeting with you. It's $300 for that meeting, but you will have it complimentary. And it can either be a personal session, a life coaching session, or a channeling session. Many people have wanted that as well. So whichever you choose. But what I want to do is meet with you first, because I know that when I do that, I can find where you're meant to go. And I can also find what your blockages are. That was probably the most challenging thing for me at one point, where I discovered that I could understand who everybody was. I could understand what you were blocked with. Now, if you've ever been to a channeling session, you will probably see that, because we operate in different dimensions of consciousness. And there's always a higher consciousness that we can each reach when we do the work within us, or there's a higher level of consciousness that our entire world can reach as well. But that changes over time. It changes as our world changes as well. And new things get discovered, new things get developed. And my life led me to develop a new thing. And what you will hear from the people who have done this work, they will say, I've never done anything like this. Well, they couldn't have, because it hadn't been created. And you have something within you that hasn't been created yet either. And that's why you're still looking and you're searching, but it is there. It never matters how long it takes you to get there. It's just as long as you do, because that is what's going to give you the fulfillment that you want. What happens for all of us is that we have to chart this path as we come into the world. And it will be so challenging for many of us, not because there's anything wrong with you. It's just that you've been programmed to believe something different. That programming came from your family, from your ancestors, from the world, from your country, from wherever you were born. Doesn't matter. But your DNA says you're a valuable soul that came to the world with worth and purpose, and there's something that you have that you can do, because you have talent, you have abilities, you have skills. You just may not have looked at them in that manner, and that could probably be your difficulty. Many times we're talked out of doing those things that feel innate to us, that intuition that comes up, and then we don't trust it. And I went through that, so I do understand. I would never have done this work because it wasn't what was supposed to happen. How am I receiving information? And I will tell you the story, but then I want to show you what you can achieve and what you will find from this work. In 1989, I began a practice of automatic writing. And the reason I did that is because I was lost. I have moved through so many challenging, difficult things in my life, and I thought I don't want to be depressed anymore because that's what was happening. I couldn't find myself. And I happened to hear or read an article about this guy who was doing automatic writing and somehow received this information. We're all consciousness and we can access it in different ways. Not everyone will do it in this way, but I decided, let me try this and see what happens. And then all of this information kept coming through. And you will see that in the presentation that I did because I have a cabinet of over the 35 years, probably 12,000 pages that I wrote. And I'm receiving information. And then I discover that what it was neuroscience. That's what I was using. That's what was changing my brain. We've come to understand that a lot more. But I'm downloading self-actualization ideas, techniques, and principles that work forever. They work for any single person because as humans, again, we operate the same way. We use our brains, our consciousness to understand who we are. But because it's been programmed probably to believe something less than what you could be, you didn't have a way to get out of it. And now I've created it. And I'm so thrilled with this because it's taken a while. I want you to understand this. And 2021 is when I first put this program out, the first part, but I called it my testing because I always want to know what comes about. Is this going to work? Is this going to give people value? And you will hear that it did. But that's why I'm continuing on because I always want to know for sure. And that is what has happened. Now, you may not experience everything that all the others did, but it doesn't matter. You will experience what is correct for you, what is right for your life purpose. Now, I have experienced physical healing, mind body healing connections that I've made through this work. And that's also going to be in this program. It has to be because that's just a part of who I am. And so some of you will pick up on that information and probably release some of these horrible nagging things that have been causing you difficulty possibly for years. Because see, I've done that. All the things that I used to have, the backaches, the pains, the diseases, the allergies, even, all of that stuff is gone. Because when you become aligned with who you are, you reach a higher state of consciousness and those things kind of like change. And then you start becoming younger too. Now, I can say this because it's been proven that when we let go of the stress of what we've been moving through our entire lives, that we can start to have a longer lifespan. That's just been proven. Now, I'm 73. I'll be 74 in November. And people say, well, how did that happen? Why are you so vital? And if they had seen me before, where I was on the floor, I had so many problems and horrible things that I went through. But I was determined that I was going to figure this out. I didn't want others to go through what I had done. And so I knew that I was meant to, my life must have been meant to leave something to give to others. And the same is true for you. That's how we all evolve. We just develop things over time. I happen to develop this to give it to others. And I'm so grateful for that because you don't need to struggle. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to move through any of that. You can find yourself. And when people say, well, I can't find my life purpose, that's because you haven't been shown how to get there. And it's probably been blocked from you because of what you've come to believe, what you've been told, what you learned, whatever it might have been. Because as a human being, you have unlimited potential. There's nothing that you can achieve anything if you could only get a hold of your mind. And so when you hear about mindset, and why that is so important, it's because it's always set at a lower level when we come into the world. And we are the ones then who must decide that we're going to raise it. And we develop all these techniques. We learned about neuroscience. We learned about cognitive behavior training. We learned all those things. And we question, well, why did we need to learn them? Because something in our brains was programmed in a way that did not allow us to understand who we were and to become these happy people and abundant. And now I have the plan. And I can say that because I'm so thrilled that I have it, and now you can have it as well. But what's going to happen is that this week, the few people who come in, you will have an opportunity to take this initial session with me because I love doing those. And you will have all the benefits of everything that's going to be in the program, even after, well, no matter what the rate's going to be, because I've always created something that's a monthly so anybody can come in. Because my goal is to really make our world so much better. And that only happens when you become who you're meant to be. The more people who decide that they're going to become happy and prosperous and abundant, then we have a very different world. And that's the work. That's what this work will do. And I'm thrilled. But let me show you something because I always like to go and do a little research. I'm so grateful for the technology we have now that I can research things to give a little bit of proof. Because when I sit down and I'm receiving cosmic guidance, well, how does that work in my life? How does that change my life? Well, it turns out that everything I was receiving is based in science, meaning so it's been proven over and over again. And the only thing we have to do is decide to use it. And so this is what I have. I want you to just kind of look at this. I just put this together quickly. My thing is not being, I'm not a tech person. So I just kind of wanted you to see it. So I put this together quickly because again, this is only going to be up for a while. We're going to be producing other things as I put this all together. Because the other thing that's happening, just so total transparency, um, I have a big interview that's going to be released. That's going to expose me to hundreds of thousands of people, and then by the end of the year, it's going to be many more than that because I had to tell the story. I've done many interviews, but it's now going to be even more than that, which is going to be quite fun. And for me, that was challenging because I'm really introverted. I didn't want to be in the public eye that much. I for 35 years, I want you to understand this. Many of you might even know this if you search my history. I was a vocal coach for 35 years. And so during that time, it developed my ability to really understand what was going on with individuals because I could see that even the singers, when they were performing, they weren't in touch with who they were. And so that's why they couldn't really connect to what they were performing and they couldn't give a great performance. But it's the same thing in life. It's the same thing in your career or if you're in your job. And in your career, by the way, there are no limits to where you can go. And I'm talking about this because I've worked with many professionals. That's why I said this is about professional growth, because there's something in your psyche that would tell you you can't get that next promotion, that you can't be the vice president or the president of your company. And that's never true. You just have to change your mindset that told you couldn't do it. And the other thing that I always have everyone to get rid of is that we have this thing, we think we have the imposter syndrome. That is never true. You have been given guidance, you're being given an idea, and you just haven't accepted it yet. So I always like to talk about that because there's been so many people over the years that have latched on to this imposter syndrome. And I did that for a while. That's not real. When I wrote my book, and I would love for all of you to have that because you will, those people who come in, I'm going to give you an autographed copy of my book. It's called Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom. Now, that was released in 2019 because that was the beginning of me telling others how I had moved through all my fear because it plagued me my entire life. But I wanted them to understand how this work helped me to accomplish that. And I'm grateful that so many people are emailing me and saying, one lady said the other day, I have your book by my bedside because it helps me so much. I'm so grateful for that. But that took a while. And so I want you to understand no matter where you are in your life now, you can achieve greatness. And that's what this work will do for you. So let's show you this. You will see on my program site all of the things that I'm offering. However, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to find out why it worked because I didn't know at first why it was working. And so then I went and found this information because I needed to have the basis for you to understand why this is so vital. And it's called the science of purpose and well-being. It's been discovered and worked on for years. So there's all this research that has gone on that tells people why these things are so vital. And then about your vocational psychology and career satisfaction. That is so vital in your life. Now, it doesn't matter if you're not in the workforce. Your job could be as a homemaker. That's still invaluable process, but if you're not seeing it that way, then you're not receiving the value that you could from it. And so those are the things that I really want you to understand. And I needed to go through this for myself because I always like to validate everything. I get the results with my clients and people who are using this. However, I still want to give you more information, whether I see you again or not. I want you to understand what happens in your life to create the life that you want to have. And so then what happens is this all of these the relationships, because that's another part of this work that is so vital for you to understand how your relationships, all of them, from your family of origin, all your friends, your work situations, all of that, they shape who you are. And so to have the ones around you that are going to support you is really, really valuable, but also to heal the ones that you have. That's the other thing that happens with this work. You start to understand your relationships in an entirely new way. And I say that all of your relationships help you when you can use that information to, to understand who you are. And this is what happens. And let me go back. I'm going to show you a little bit more. And this now, self-actualization, we know about that. We've heard all these things from Maslow, how he created that. Everybody comes in and creates something at some point. We just use it to start to get to that next level in our life. So what I've done and what my life led me to was to put all of these things together. The only difference is I happen to believe that we also have a spiritual purpose. And when we can align all of those things, that's when we live this great life. And we also know that we're making a difference because we're making a difference on our planet as well. And then I wanted to show you this, why this worked. And again, I needed to find the proof of this. And this is, oops, sorry, why it works. It's rooted in principles that are both universal and uniquely tailored to each person's journey. And I'm saying that because as a mystic, when I'm doing channeling, when I'm working with you, I can tap into your individual journey. Now, I can't do that for everyone, but my program gets you to do it. And those people who take private sessions with me, we do a little bit more. But I know that every single person has it. And if you've come to a channeling session, you will see that I'm always able, when I'm in that dimension, I'm able to answer anyone's question, which is why I'm also doing private sessions at this time, as long as I can anyway. And then I want you to see this, the benefits that you will gain. And this is the most important thing. Sorry, I don't want to go there yet. This is the most important thing. Clarity of purpose. You'll gain a deep understanding of your life purpose, which will guide your decisions and actions moving forward. Career alignment. Together will help you discover the career path and vocation that truly resonates with your soul, leading to greater fulfillment and success. Improved relationships. By understanding yourself better, you'll be able to cultivate healthier, more authentic relationships. Personal growth. You'll experience ascension and personal development, moving closer to your highest potential. Self-actualization. This program will help you realize your true self, unlocking your fullest potential. Manifesting abundance. You'll learn to manifest abundance in all areas of your life, leading to a more prosperous and joyful experience. This program isn't about helping you survive. It's about helping you thrive in every aspect of your life. This is why I said it's a complete guide to personal and professional growth, because you're always going. There's always more. It's ongoing growth. You're never done. Like I said, I'm moving into another area of my life now at this age, but I know that you can do it as well. So, as I said, when I first put this out in 2021, I wanted to know what happened. And so these people have talked about it in this one video, but then you will also hear, which is on my YouTube channel, you'll hear all of this. I'll leave a link here. People who came back a year later, and then all of a sudden their lives were changed. They had done different things. One lady who was in this video, then she comes back a year later. Now she's revamped her business and she started a second business. So when you get out of your way, you can do basically anything. And this is what they said after that very first time this was released.
I find this work is very powerful. They change a lot very quickly. It's like quite surprising how things are changing for me.
I want to say how grateful I am that you've done this. And the time that you've put through on this is just amazing. And as we get older and we put through something like this into the world, you don't know the benefits of it until years later.
I just want to thank you for the program. Probably a year or two ago, if there was a tough decision to make, especially about money or anything like that, I would let fear and worry guide me away from a decision that might have helped me grow.
I have moved. I have made some positive changes. Hey, good, bad, or ugly, you did it. That's the main thing.
When you say the time is now, and I always appreciate it, because now more than ever, I feel a little bit more satisfied with myself, because especially lately, I keep leaving a project not finished.
I love the program. I love the questions. But I think that being aware of everything that's inside of you and bringing it out onto paper, it really does make you step forward in that area.
The way the questions penetrate into your memory and into your past experiences is so unique. Yeah, it really goes deep very, very quickly. I mean, I'm only on day 3, but the way like the questions are presented and the things you read before and the whole steps you go through, probably a lot of people's experiences, but it goes really deep, really, really quickly.
I mean, every day has its difficulties, but like, it's better than it was. You know, I mean, I'm doing more things that I enjoy, and like I find that I personally feel like I'm meant to do my book and everything, and then with the acting, I'm working on all that.
I've been taking so much courses, like especially with this pandemic, I approach different from Tony Robbins, from Bob Proctor, from Jack Canfield, and also I've been following Abraham Hicks, but never really brought me the result that I wanted to do it. So I'm very, I mean, this course is very more, I found that I think it's a bit faster.
Roger, I just wanted to say thank you again, because a few years ago I realised that voice coaching wasn't the only thing that I could do, and that I had something else. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah. So now let me explain what they were saying. They're talking about days, because what I did, I said I wanted something that's going to absolutely work. And so I put together assignments, as we call them, where you receive that and you're sitting and looking at this assignment and you're going inside and figuring out, you're asking yourself those questions, and you are shocked at what you discover. And then all of a sudden you're becoming more empowered. And then each day you're feeling confident. I showed you about how we change the cognitive behavior training. That's because we have to move through daily something to create the freedom in our thinking to be able to do that next thing, no matter who we are. That's what's always going on. And so I wanted to make sure that you had something that was going to keep you on track. And then we have groups when we come together, because when you can come and talk about whatever's going on with you and then meet with others, like-minded people who are doing the same thing, you feel a sense of community. You feel that you're not alone. The main thing that happens is you get lost, you feel lost and you're alone. This I wanted to correct. And then I'd done so many programs over my life. I have taken every personal development, I've done all of it for years and years and years. And most of them I would put away. Most of them I wouldn't finish. And I said, I'm not going to have that happen. And I wanted something that people could stay with it. And that's what has happened. I'm thrilled. That's why I'm putting more in, because we never are done with this. So this work Every day you're working on discovering your purpose and owning it and loving yourself and becoming more empowered, becoming confident and courageous, because that is about becoming your authentic self. That is really what it is. And moving past everything else that has held you back before. That's what goes on. And then understanding your relationships and creating a career that's going to give you sustainability, that's going to give you the kind of money that you want to have, the abundance to make a difference in your life, but also, who knows, maybe in the world. I'm looking at this and thinking this work could go to much, much larger audiences, which it will. And so I never imagined that it was going to do that. I'm saying that because what you have within you could possibly be the same thing. You could be the next person that's going to create this huge invention that's going to transform your life and help all of us. All of us have that potential, but we have to take action if we're going to do it. And so I advise you to join and just check everything out because I'd love to have you. And then in that first meeting, we will figure out exactly where you're going and the right track for you to get on. And I advise you to do that. Now, let me explain. I'm not doing consultations because I didn't charge enough for this to be doing consultations. I will be doing consultations when the price goes to the much higher rate because then I'm going to sit down with those people. But right now, you can have this consultation in this session when you come into it at this rate. That is available now through probably this weekend. I'm not sure when they're going to have everything together, but you will see all of that. But the main thing is that I want you to know this. You're not alone. You have a solution now. And I can say that because I know that it works and it'll have you achieving your goals. It'll have you loving yourself. It'll have you happy. It'll have you doing the career that you want. And all you have to do is just do the work. And you have to just start. And I advise you to start now. You will never be the same. And you will be like those others who are saying, this has changed my life. And you'll have to check the other testimonial video because I love it so much, but I'll leave a link in this video. And you can always find that on my website, rogerburnley.com. You can always find everything there. And there are other links that I created a little free community. You can have that, the Ascension Circle, where you can come and see all of the other information and listen to sessions, channelings, sessions, previous ones, and all of that. However, now is your time for you to become the best version of yourself imaginable. And I know you can do it. Great. Thank you for being here. See you soon.